Hi, my name is Jeje. I'm the president of East African Energy Solutions, and today I'm joined by my former professor. Wow, it's been 4 or 5 months. Dr. Karen Fancher was my professor at Multnomah University, and today we'll be talking about energy, peace building, conflict, and reconciliation, and how all those things work together, and how if you don't take care of the other affects the other. And I love Dr. Fancher talk about a little about herself and the work she does.
Okay. Well, first of all, what a joy to get to support your step, both of faith and wanting to really come alongside communities and invest in human flourishing. It brings me great joy. And so we're excited to see where East Africa Energy Solutions will go. I work at Multnomah University. I teach for our Global Development and Justice Studies program, a master's studies program that works with students who want to work in a variety of contexts, helping to address complex issues in our world, forming strategic partnerships, and to address through the lens of both faith and best practices. So we are so blessed when we have students such as JJ, such as Godfrey, and others that then step out with the unique visions and applications that they create as they go through the program. So.
Thank you, Dr. Fancher. I have a few questions for you regarding the topic we just introduced. How can providing clean, affordable, and sustainable energy in conflict countries bring about peace and reconciliation?
Yeah, well, it's a factor. When we think about peace and reconciliation, sometimes we think dialogue, understanding, and it's a contract and it's done. But peace, as we talk about in our program, is shalom. It's the peace with one another, a right relationship with God, with others, with creation, with ourselves. And it's dependent. My flourishing is dependent upon your flourishing. It happens in relationship, but relationships that care for the well-being of the other and realize our mutuality. And so providing clean energy isn't going to create peace, but it is a factor in fostering peace. It's a factor in creating human flourishing one for another. When I think of displaced peoples like refugees that might be living in communities where they not only have experienced trauma and displacement, but now are struggling to care for their families. And basic things like clean energy that can provide opportunities for warmth, for cooking, for safety, for their children, even perhaps to study, creates a sense of well-being and hope that allows them to engage in community rather than to be marginalized, to create perhaps a sense of despair, frustration, or opposition. So it's a factor in human flourishing, which is absolutely essential to fostering peace.
Thank you. I like that. I like that. I like the fact that you're not detaching all the things. They all work together to affect the human being as a whole. And yeah, I like that. Question two, based on your experiences working on peace building communities affected by war, conflict, how did you see lack of energy affect those people?
Yeah, well, first I told you a story that wasn't in a place of conflict. It wasn't a place of extreme poverty, where I visited a family in northern Argentina that were cooking over coal in their home. And the child fell into the fire, a 3-year-old little boy. They didn't have medical insurance and needed assistance to care for the child. Another child was coughing from the smoke, and the mother was in despair that she couldn't care for her child. Translate that now to an area of conflict where there is lack of trust and support to address some of these complex issues, where perhaps access to medical care is even more challenging. In many areas of conflict, basic services are minimal. And so getting access to the resources to care for your family are even more critical. And when I think about areas of conflict and energy, you just realize that when people are in survival mode, right, the basic foundation of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, they need food, they need shelter, they need safety. And in our common world, to cook food, to to have warmth or shelter. All of that requires some level of access to energy. And when people don't have access to those basic needs, then there can be, again, a despair cycle. There can even be an enmity cycle. When you can't meet your basic needs, you can either fall into hopelessness, or you can try to fight to get access to that which you need. And both of those are destructive for communities. So to foster peace, we need to be able to think holistically about communities and their health.
I like that. So basically you're saying people need to have access to energy. I know just energy, but clean and sustainable energy that helps, again, what you said earlier, that to their human flourishing in general.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I didn't emphasize much the clean energy, but one of the things that I've seen in visiting some of the refugee camps that I've had a privilege to visit is that because they're in a basic survival level, that people are doing whatever they can, right, to provide for energy. And so they might be not only destructing the environment around them, but the smoke, the unhealthy conditions, the unsanitary conditions. Often there isn't access to clean toilet facilities, or some of that as well, or it's more difficult to manage. And all of that creates a sense of, it robs human dignity. It takes people's sense of being respected and valued, and being able to live in a way that that recognizes the dignity of the other. And human dignity as well is foundational for, as I recognize the other and your dignity, that creates that trust and that ability to function well as we go forward. So all of this is integral, not just that people have some form of energy, but that it's clean, that it's healthy. And these solutions don't have to be more expensive. They have to be more thoughtfully implemented, right? So.
I like that. Thank you, Dr. Fancher. That brings us to the last question. How does having access to clean and affordable energy bring justice to the marginalized?
Yeah, so I think the first two questions built upon that. Just treatment is, again, the acknowledgement of both human agency, right? That people can make their own decisions, as well as treating people with equity. And we're not saying equity means that everyone has the same living standards, or we realize that societies are very complex, but it means that they have equal access to foundational needs, and that they have opportunities, right, to be able to address the issues in their lives, and agency to address the issues in their lives. And so that the justice is recognizing the worth and dignity of each person, their voice, their ability to engage in society and to address issues within society. And so when you're marginalized and you can't access energy, your kids can't study. They have less opportunity to engage in society. That's a justice issue, right? Can they come home and read? Can they get books? Can they get resources? Energy is foundational in our world to education. Energy is foundational to be able to cook healthy food in ways that protect health. And again, access to being able to live in a situation that is healthy for you is a justice issue. And it cares for the dignity of the other. So there's so many implications for energy that are foundational to people having access to voice, to full engagement within society. And these are all facets of justice.
I like that. I think that for me, the key word is that it's opportunity. I think that we have to provide opportunities for people, and then they either take them or not, but as long as the opportunities are there. But really thank you for taking your time to share with us your knowledge about this. I really like the fact that your responses have been broad and holistic, to things that we didn't even think about, how it all affects the general human flourishing. So I really thank you for your time, Dr. Fancher.
You're welcome. I'm excited to see where this goes. Thank you for your work. And yeah, God bless you. Take care.
Blessings to you.